Welcome back, guys, to another video. And what we've got for you today is, as you can see behind me, a 5 Series BMW. And now this one is I believe it's the F10. It's a 2015 535d M Sport. So it's the top of the range diesel one, 3 litre twin turbo. And for a diesel, it's 300 and I believe around 10 brake horsepower and 450 pounds-feet of torque. So it's no slouch, to say the least. It's actually a very, very quick car. It's a completely standard car with half decent spec to it as well. So got offered the car by a viewer, and he's seen the 435 and he thought, yeah, so snap it up with both hands. These cars are fantastic, and they've got a best of both worlds. They're fast and they're economical. Obviously, with it being a 5 Series practical as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on Instagram, performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And if you'd like your car featured, drop us an email, pflifestyle@hotmail.com, at the bottom of the screen, and it's always in the description. So yeah, drop us an email and we'll be more than happy to accommodate. But for today, we've got this. So we'll go for a walk around and a drive, and then we'll conclude the video. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. We'll catch you outside the car. So here it is, the 535d M Sport. So as you can see, I mean, most people have probably seen one around anyway. So it's actually a very, very good car. They're a very big car as well. They've got the best of, like I said, both worlds. They're an executive car with a very, very good spec. They're a big size car, so they're very practical. And with it being the 535d, so it's the top of the range in the performance side of things as well. So, and it's a very, very quick car. And honestly, with this one's a standard car and it's still quick. Tuned there, you know, they can see over 400 brake horsepower and over 500 pounds-feet of torque, so they will actually annihilate a lot of performance petrol cars as well. But the only obviously downside with these, they're diesel and they sound like an oil burner does. So but yeah, and honestly, that aside, they are a mega car. And as you can see there, this actual car here is actually quite stunning. It's got the standard sort of BMW stuff, the chrome kidney grills, and with it being a executive sort of car, diesel, I think they suit the car just right. On an M5 and M-Power cars, no, I don't think they do look very well. So yeah, this one's got this 19-inch twin 5-spoke wheels, and as you can see, the size of the brake calipers compared to my hands, they are humongous. They are massive. And then you get this little fake silver chrome sort of thing on the side. M badge on the actual wing. This one comes with the factory tinted windows, so as you can see, they're a must-have, I'd say. And again, the rear wheels, they actually do look, they're very, very, you wouldn't actually expect them to be as quick as they are, but honestly, they are absolutely bloody savages. And like I said, with it being a 535, it's got twin exhaust, one on each side. I'm not too sure if the pre-facelift had the twin exhaust, one on each side, but with it being an LCI car, this has actually got the twin exhaust, and they actually do look quite good. So, and this also comes with a factory optional rear spoiler, which I think looks quite smart. It's a nice little add-on, and obviously the 535d badge on the back. And I mean, just like I said, it's a beautiful car. It's a big car, and it's very, very comfortable. So you've got, like I said, you've got all the comfort you could probably need, and you've got more than enough power. There's ample amounts of power. I don't know what sort of top speeds these will do, but I'm sure they'll easily cruise to 155 miles per hour, which is where the limit is probably set. And you'll get there in comfort and style. This car's actually finished off in carbon black. So when you look at it like that, it's actually, you can see it about there. It's got a hint of like a dark blue sort of, so you'd actually think it's actually a dark blue car, but it's not. It's a carbon Schwarz metallic black or something, BMW call it. And it does look like dark blue, but it's not just carbon black. This is just the way carbon black cars are. Right, onto the inside. The first thing you obviously notice with this actual car is the cream leather interior. So it's got the electric seats, memory seats, and all the memory functions are on the actual door. And half the dashboard's cream as well, with black on top, which looks quite nice. And with, like I said, with it being this nature of car, I think it looks quite good. And then it's got like a wood, kind of polished wood effect on the center console as well, so on the middle of the dash. And yeah, and then you get the standard sort of M Performance kick plates. And this nice, decent sort of chunky sort of steering wheel, and with it being an automatic, which I believe all of these were, it's got the flappy paddles on the gear steering wheel. And again, with this one, it's got a plus there and a minus there, unlike the predecessors, which were plus and minus on both sides. So you got to push it to go, I think it was up, and then pull it to go down, or the other way around, correct me, whichever way it is. But yeah, I think this plus on one side, minus on one side works so much better. So you always know the left is always the minus thing. And as you can see from the actual dashboard, it's actually quite a smart looking car. Very nice sort of interior, very modern cockpit, and again, half leather door cards as well. So you got plastic at the bottom and leather in the middle. And again, that wood trim on the side, which will probably be easier for me to show you on this side. And this actual car does come with the Harman Kardon sound system. It's got a reverse camera, sat-nav, widescreen sat-nav, professional sat-nav as they call it. Electric handbrake, which is a standard feature. You've got all your multi-controls here for the actual iDrive. And then you've got your buttons here, comfort, sport. And you could go through, there's an eco mode in there as well, which actually looks quite well. And then it's got the standard armrest here, split opening armrest. This has got the smoker's pack, which this car's never actually been smoked in by the sound, by the looks of things and by the smell of things. There's no musty smells inside this car. It's actually quite a nice, very nice sort of car. And again, with it being a 5 Series, you get all the features you could probably want, all the comfort you could probably want. 5 seats in the back, 3 seats in the back, and you can seat people in there comfortably in the back. You know, there's no tightness in this one. With the 3 Series, it can be a bit of a squeeze, but with the 5 Series, there's actually quite ample amounts of space. And then when you've not got 5 people in there, that centre thing opens up as an armrest. And I believe these aren't actually comfort seats, but you do get nice firm bolster. Well, I say firm, nice soft bolsters, and I think they are adaptive as well. You can mess about with them with this button here. They'll close in and fold out, and then they've got this little bit in the middle here, which looks quite smart. It just breaks the seat up. It's got black roof lining as well, actually, which actually makes a big difference. The cockpit of this car, just by sitting here, you can actually see there's plenty of space here. So these 5 Series BMWs are a very, very, very spacious car, and with it being, like I said, a 535d, this is a very it's the top of the range one. So you got nothing really to moan about with this thing. It picks up speed like there's no tomorrow. It's actually a very fast car. Like I said, 310 give or take horsepower and mid 400 pounds-feet of torque. So, and that's over 500 Newton meters, if I'm correct in thinking, but I never really did very good at math, so correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's actually a beautiful car. It's got obviously your usual features like automatic lights, automatic wipers, and push button start. This doesn't have keyless entry, which is probably a good thing with the amount of stuff that happens with keyless cars. And then obviously you've got your heated seat control buttons there, all your heater controls, your radio stuff over here, which is standard stuff. This is just a aftermarket phone holder. And yeah, and like I said, it's actually a beautiful car. Even with it being a 5 Series, you can see the size of this boot. You can actually comfortably get 2 people in there if that's what you're into, or plenty of shopping. They're a very, very practical car, and this one actually does come with the addition of a soft self-closing automatic boot, which is quite a nice feature, to be fair. So you could just press the button, walk away, and the boot will automatically just close itself, which is actually a very good thing. So what we'll do is I'll show you under the bonnet, the 3-litre twin turbo lump under the bonnet, and then we'll go for a drive, and I'll give you my feedback on what I think this car feels like. And like I said, the last time I drove a 5 Series was, I think it was the M5 that we had on the channel, so do feel free to check that out as well. That is actually a beautiful car. I was a 2013-14 M5, awesome car, honestly, what a machine. And this is literally that was the top of the range petrol, and this is the top of the range diesel. So yeah, like I said, do feel free to check that out. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll show you under the bonnet, and then we'll go for a drive. So we'll catch you outside the car again. So there's the heart of this car. 3-litre twin power turbo engine, and yeah, it's just all covered up, so there's not really a lot to report from under here. But your battery, I believe in these, as with all BMWs, is in the boot. and then you got your jumping points at the front here, which is that and this thing here. So you get your negative on there, positive on there, and you could jump them. And they've got these braces, I'm guessing obviously they're for whatever strut braces are for stability and stuff. So yeah, and that is the heart of this thing. So what we'll do is we'll go for a little drive, and then we'll conclude the video. So yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoy the video, guys. I will catch you on the drive. Onto the drive of this 535d. I mean, the first thing you actually do genuinely notice is just the size of this car. It is big. It is a very big car, and how comfortable it actually feels to drive. It's very quiet in here considering it is a diesel, but that just goes to show with the quality and the build quality of the actual car, with it being an executive side of the BMW range and the top of the range one at that as well. So it actually does live up to the expectations that you would have if you've never driven one before. And if BMW have got this this thing about where you'd expect it to be of high class, and this most certainly is very high class. It's a beautiful car. It's very comfortable, very quiet, and very smooth. The gear change as well is actually very, very quick, to be fair. And considering I'm driving it in Comfort Plus, the gear change is actually very good. And it's almost like you don't even notice it changing gear higher up in the higher gears. I believe it is an 8-speed, but I will stand to be corrected on that. Actually, let me try it. Yeah, it is an 8-speed gearbox, and I believe it's going to be the ZF box that you get on the petrol 435s and the 135s and 140s and stuff. So it's actually a very good gearbox as well. But like I mentioned before, over 300 brake horsepower and mid 400 pounds-feet of torque. This thing is no slouch. It certainly will outpace many performance cars, and you'll achieve 35 miles to the gallon whilst doing it as well. If you drive it completely sensible, these things will, on paper, they're down as late 40 mpg, but if you drive it like a super granddad, then I'm sure you will see 50 miles to the gallon. And for a car that can outpace a lot of cars, that's very good. And like I mentioned, we've got a 435 diesel on the channel as well, and that thing was actually very good. It was a Grand Coupe in Estral Blue. A few little bits and bobs done to it, and that was actually a very good car. But this is a completely standard 5 Series, so this is actually the one above it, and a lot more space inside this car than that. But yeah, overall I'm actually quite impressed. It's the first time I've driven this car, and it's actually a very nice place to be in. So it gets a thumbs up from me. So let's whack it over from Eco Pro into Sports and see how it fares. I'll put it into manual as well. So in 4th, 3rd. It's quick. Honestly, this is actually very quick. No wonder they can outpace a lot of petrol performance cars. If that wasn't even like a heavy right foot, if you used to completely and utterly floor it off the mark, and this is actually a rear wheel drive as well. I know the newer ones were X-drive, so 4-wheel drive. It's one of the later F10s, I believe the F10s, but it's still a rear wheel drive. So, and it's a bit of a damp day as well. But the thing is, it just from that, take my word for it, it just wants to take off. This thing is very quick. And then brakes as well, they're about the size of, they're probably about 16-inch brakes. They stop the car as well on the dot. The calipers are massive, they're about that big, so they do a perfectly fine job. And obviously this car is running a good brake setup. I'm not sure what brake setup it is. This is first gear. I see 0 to 60 times on these cars being around 5 seconds, which a car that's this big, it's about the size of a boat, and it shifts. Gear change again in Sports Plus is sharp, very sharp. It's actually a very impressive car. Honestly, I'm really quite thrilled by this. It's actually quite a decent. I've never been a big fan of my motto is always, if I'm spending 10-15 grand on a car, I want it to be a petrol and I want it to be performance, so it gives you, smiles per gallon. But after driving this, that might have changed my opinion ever so slightly. This is actually very good. Steering wheel feels very sharp as well. Everything is literally where you expect it to be. The sat nav screen is actually, because it's got the Pro Nav, it's quite a wide screen and it's just there, and I actually really like this car. I might not give it back. So here we are, let's try it from first gear. I actually quite like this. This is very, very good. You don't realise how quick they actually are until you look down at your speedometer. Purely because of how comfortable they are and how smooth they are. The gear change is literally effortless. It just does it. You don't even realise, moving up, shooting through the gears. With it being a diesel, the power band is very short. But honestly, it's so refined and so smooth and so comfortable that you literally don't even feel how quick you're going. You literally just don't even feel it. That is actually a great feature. I suppose this is one of the reasons as to why you buy an executive performance sort of diesel car. So you get best of, not both worlds, I suppose, you get best of every world. You get something that looks sporty, stylish, you get a car that's very, very economical, and on top of that you get something that's very practical and obviously fast. Can't forget the fast part, no. You got to have something that brings a bit of joy to your driving experience, and it needs to be a quick car. And going back to the seats are very, very comfortable. It's almost like you are sitting, you're gliding across the road. You don't feel many of the bumps, you don't feel anything, and that is obviously down to the suspension stuff, even though this car is on 19-inch wheels. But they're not low profile tyres, and the suspension setup, even though I'm in sports mode, this has got the adaptive suspension as well from what I've read. So it will stiffen up, and this is on the stiffer setting, but it is still very, very forgiving. It's comfortable. Most cars, when you put them into sports mode, whether they're petrols or diesels, and they've got adaptive suspension, the suspension setup, it does get very firm. Almost to the extent where it's back braking, but this is nowhere near like that. This is quite a comfortable drive, and I don't see many people being disappointed with one of these 5 Series, especially with the spec this one's got. And I believe these cars, a couple of years ago you could pick one up for about 15 odd grand, and nowadays they're maybe a little bit more expensive than that, with all the whole price increase in cars and just generally, I mean, and these cars are actually, I'd say, 17 grand for a decent mileage one like this. It's on 60 odd thousand miles, and it's a very impressive car. I also like the way the actual sat nav is, and like I said, it's like a semi-digital sort of dash, and it's quite snazzy to look at, to be fair. Even though I think my driving position, I have to kind of like pop my head over the top just to see the mileage, but yeah, the whole setup is actually very good. This wood trim actually is it grows on you. That is actually quite a nice feature, and with it being an executive diesel car, and the whole thing, the whole combined package is great. I know you could get the Mercedes E350 and stuff, and they are nice as well, but most people, what you find is either Mercedes people or the BMW people, and if you're a BMW person, then you definitely won't be disappointed with this. But if you're a Merc guy, jumped into one of these, try something different, then you still won't be disappointed. There's plenty of 5 Series on the road, and I'm sure you've probably noticed that there's quite a few of them, but only a very small number of them are a 535d. Most of them, 520s is probably the most common, and they probably will achieve 60 miles to the gallon. But that 10 mpg that you're shaving off for a 535 is well worth it, because the body is heavy on this car. The car is just basically a heavy, bulky car, so I can't imagine the 2-litre diesel engine being sufficient enough in a sticky situation to get you out of it. But the 3-litre twin turbo diesel engine is got plenty of power, and like I said, when they're remapped, play back with them, and it's, you're talk to somebody like SI Performance or something, and they'll do your remap for 200 to 300 quid and you will see over 400 brake horsepower. And then it's a completely different ball game, because these cars are rapid with a capital R. Right then, folks, so I hope I've covered everything on this video. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on Instagram, performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And if you'd like your car featured on our channel, please drop us an email, pflifestyle@hotmail.com, and we will be more than happy to accommodate. And we could work something out, get something going, and get your car featured on our YouTube channel. So yeah, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. And as per usual, stay safe, and we will hopefully catch you on the next video.